that.
Now you're
now it's recording, but it's recording from the very beginning. And what we did now, you took everything apart. Most of it, you took everything apart, and you let me do it. I was not good. I did only about 70%. So I didn't get an A yet, but I think I will. I should always remember to turn on the PC to video gadget on, because yesterday I got so frustrated for two things. First of all, I didn't turn this on, number one, and secondly, I was trying to get into the Skype, and I didn't have audio, and they were warning me that I had a mute microphone. I did it about 10 times, and finally it dawned to me that I said, why doesn't the mic work? You know, and right now it doesn't in either way.
See?
Hello?
Hi, it's Ella.
Oh, Hella is Paula.
It's Paula and Daddy. You're on a show.
No, you're not.
No, we're recording.
Just call me on my cell when you're done.
Where are you, Hella?
I'm taking a walk and I'm going back home. I'm anxious to get the web straightened out. I've had reports already.
Oh, okay. I'll be there in an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, anyway, all what I was talking a while ago, the audio did not record because I didn't have the mic on. By the way, this is their fault. I thought that the mic of the computer can work if I pull the USB out. Now, I don't know what Paula is doing.
Really?
What are you doing?
I want to show Hella's website.
Yeah, talk louder so you can...
Oh, we want to see Hella's website, just so you can see how the computer works. It's Hella, Hella, personal.
Came to the United States, and I worked for the state, and I had taken courses about concrete. But it really, to cure this block, or to cure concrete in general, you had to have it in moisture, and it had to be not really underwater, but it has to cover it, and it cures, and it is really strong, and it's funny. Okay, now it's recording, and I'm on 2 minutes and 55 seconds, I think.
Right, keep talking, because while you're talking, you can look at these images.
Yeah, so Hella Live, he says, find your personal colors, learn about your personal colors, understand and organize your closet, shop with your personal colors, and save. Who wrote this thing?
Hella.
She did this?
Yeah.
Personal style develops higher awareness within yourself and radiates around you. It is a tool for self-knowledge, creating harmony in your clothing choices, and developing more possibilities in what is at hand. It is politically correct knowledge, and is as old as Plato's ideal of beauty. By more mindfully acquiring those elements needed to achieve the potential you know you have, and inspiring others around you to inner beauty, shining from within, expressed itself outwardly through universal principles. Our work strives for that level of understanding, and the process is fun and effective right from the start. It is as simple as looking good, and as deep at understanding our contribution to life through the joy experienced when we unfold the gift of our body and how to clothe it, staying true to ourselves, and at the same time saying thank you to the society in which we live. Well, that is okay. Now, why do you go back and forth? Just for
practice?
For practice?
Yeah.
And
the only thing is, I noticed...
we have to stop it now.
We don't have to, but you can.
Let me see.
Stop.
Stop.
This is Paula Gloria, and this show is called Farther Down the Rabbit Hole. And today we're going to do a really wonderful experiment, and that is I'm recording with my father here in his little studio in his office in his basement. And we have with us Molly Cheshire, who's calling in from South Carolina, Molly? Charleston.
South Carolina.
Charleston, South Carolina. I might be repeating what you say because it's choppy, that's all.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So, what's most on people's minds right now?
Well, Christmas, New Year's, you mean as far as the world events?
Yeah, or, you know, what you might want to ask my dad or what he might want to ask you. I think maybe he wants to say.
Why don't you tell us what you had in mind as sort of the basis for the show?
Well, for me, the basis of the show is to try out new technology, and I got this PC to video component. You remember, Molly, months ago, Harold Channer told me about it, and thanks to you, we got one in Radio Shack. And it's been one of my most cherished part, besides the switcher, of this whole operation. You know, to be able to create our own videos. So, yeah. So you can take comments, you can take things off the internet, and you know how rich a source that is, and then comment on it. And then also, I just wanted to hear more about my father's experiences.
Well, let's go back. First of all, Molly, you sent me an email about Paula not, you don't advise her to go to school or learn the basics of this industry. But you thought it was a better idea to learn from people who are working every day. In a way, you're right. In another way, you have to learn the basics. You have to learn the basics of how the current behaves, and those things you cannot learn from a guy who holds the camera or the thing. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not expressing myself correct, but.
Well, let me just explain to you about the movie business. What you learn in school is so far behind what's happening because the technology changes so fast, and they can't afford to buy all the new equipment. So that it's almost better to be working in the field with, like all this new technology with the internet and, web streaming and stuff. It's very difficult to take classes that focus on that because they just don't exist.
I agree with you. I never thought it this way. That industry has wrapped so fast. You don't have time to have experts to teach. You're right on that part.
You could take a lighting class or maybe a camera class, and that would be useful. But for composition and things like that. But Paula's got the basics. I've seen her in the studio at M&N, and she's way beyond what most people are doing in film schools. I've taken film classes, and I found that it was not as effective as when I actually got out and started to work in the business.
You know, Molly.
And the thing that
don't play around.
No, go ahead, Paula. What are you going to say?
No, you go ahead. He's more.
No. Well, what I was going to say is that the only reason why I would have gone to film school is for connections and to have the opportunity to maybe use film cameras. But, Paula, you're not really interested in using film cameras. It's kind of passé in a way.
Right.
I'm kind of a purist. I wanted to make features. So I wanted to work with people with writing screenplays, and I probably should have gone to film school, but I also found out I didn't really like working with actors. They're kind of annoying.
You know who I think is going to really enjoy this show is Scott Goldberg, because he did take formal training, And he has a camera like Alan's, and he uses that setting to make it look like film.
Right.
And he's very meticulous in his lighting. Like when he sets up a shoot, my God, it takes half an hour, and I can never wear red because then he white balances in such a way that the red bleeds, and he's picky that way. And when you see his work, it is very beautiful. But what he's so interested in following me around is for me and the people I'm around have the interest, have the content.
Yeah.
But what is your real goal in Paula's? I don't understand what her goal is. How is she going to make money? You know, playing around is only for the rich, you know. And Paula is not rich. She cannot, she has to make a living. Once upon a time she was rich, but she wanted to save the women of India, and they saved her.
Well, I think what we're trying to do is to create a new platform and somehow have it on the internet, so to have an internet channel and somehow figure out a way to monetize that. But I think what Paula's doing right now is she is branding herself, and that takes a certain amount of research and development. It may seem like she's planned, but actually she's creating. You know, she has 230. Video on YouTube at the moment.
No, Molly, I have 600.
Well, anyway, I went on last night. It only listed 230.
230. Just a second. 230 what?
Videos.
Oh, the videos is $3.95. Okay, but that's okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter how many you have. It's the point being is that you're creating a brand and you're creating a following and a demographic in a way. And I think that that's important, and that's bankable in the long run. It takes a while to create a product,
right,
and an audience.
Yeah, but the product Paula has is not. It's very amateurish. You know, it's very not even basic. It is not. I'm not talking the people who has in there or the speeches or something like that. I'm talking the. What would you say, the
production value is what we call it.
You know, from the technical point of view, you know,
I know, it's called production value.
It's very poor. You cannot show this for business.
But no, but the bottom line is people are watching, and they don't care about production value. They care about content. Content is more important in the long run than how good it looks. I mean, the problem with Hollywood right now is that you get a lot of production value, and the technical stuff is very good, and yet the acting and the writing is terrible, you know, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So this is the antithesis of that, and it seems like people are interested in it just because the content is so good. And as it gets monetized, you know, as we get more money, we'll be able to make the production value increase because. Go ahead, Paul.
No, we'll have it increase because you have more people that are involved.
Right.
You know, because right now I'm doing it on, you know, because of your helping me with my apartment and then at the hat shop. But I don't actually have a problem with putting more attention on the hat shop or advertising in the East Village, because what I'm learning there, I can see that the needs of local businesses, they need more exposure. Advertising is not a bad thing. You know, so that's a learning experience too, and that has nothing to do with cameras and the production. It's the content and the market.
But advertising is a very sophisticated business. So what do you know about advertising? You have no idea what advertising is.
If somebody comes down and they buy a product because they heard me mention it, that's advertising.
No, that's not advertising. That's a lot more sophisticated.
Well, no, it's local. It's not a big thing.
Well, I don't know about the local, but.
Molly?
Well, I know a little bit about advertising, and I hate to say it, I'm in Paula's camp with this. Because you mentioned something on your show and results in a sale, then that's valuable to somebody.
Right.
So I think that the trick is to figure out, call it in the movie business product placement. You know, when you put a product in a movie, and like Coca-Cola will pay Die Hard with a vengeance, whatever amount of money to feature their product.
Right.
So that there is a certain, if there's a certain high profile aspect to whatever the video is or the film, then there's a certain amount of advertising that can happen on a very subtle level. And it's actually a little bit more insidious than just full-on advertising.
Well, I have a little bit experience of advertising. Paula used to have a shop. She was selling furniture. And I gave her, and she needed a truck, so I gave her a pickup. And right away what she did was she painted the pickup a crazy color, and she put the chair on top. And she put the chair on top in that pickup. So that was imperfect.
She knows a lot about advertising.
Yeah, but you know what happened? Everybody says, "Oh my God, that horrible color on the pickup and that chair. Why do you put it up there? I'm myself there. You're going to hurt your business, or the people are going to be laughing." You know what? Everybody knew about the truck. Everybody knew that. What was the name of your store?
Mr. Wickers.
Mr. Wickers' store. You know, and then I had another experience with advertising, which I came out of. I used to work for the state of California. We were building bridges and roads, and then I bought a lumber yard. I knew nothing about lumber yard. I knew nothing about things. So they told us we have to advertise. So those days, I'm talking about the 70s, the word sex was not a good word to the thing. People were more shy and the thing. So I put an ad in the paper for a redwood fence with a sex appeal, you know, with the word sex appeal big. And people would come in the store, and they were kind of laughing, and you know, they were kind of there. And my gosh, I kept a record of every time we put an ad in the paper, what did it bring, and so on. And you know what? Just for the word sex appeal, you know, not even the word sex, but sex appeal increased the thing. This is advertising, of course.
That's
but
hilarious.
That's not,
I didn't know that story.
That is not advertising, though. Advertising is a lot more sophisticated today. And
it can be. It doesn't have to be. That's advertising. It works. My attitude is that whatever works is advertising. No?
You know, that's so funny, Molly, because I never heard that story, but I heard my brothers talking about an ad that they had in the Yellow Pages, and they talked about the girl with the miniskirt. It was just a little cartoon character, and she had a miniskirt.
That's
Remember?
right. We did.
And they always talk about the girl in the miniskirt ad. That it drew so many customers.
Yeah, that's funny. And the lady who was doing the advertising, you know, the artwork, was a kind of a nut, and she didn't want to cut the redwood trees. And she didn't want to grow the redwood trees. Poor thing, what a nice person. She's dead now, you know.
What the hell? Why was she in the lumber business if that's what she had to do?
No, she was not in the lumber business. She was an artist, and she was creating the ad cuts, you know.
I got you.
But anyway, what I'm saying is, you guys have to think how much money you're going to make later. You're experimenting now, and it takes years. I understand that.
Well, you know, I mean, in the meantime, we have day jobs. I have a day job.
Well, Paula has nothing.
I have a hat shop job.
Well, $15 an hour,
Yeah.
You don't make money.
No, you make it.
Let me put it this way. It's certainly better than the job she had last year.
Right.
What did she have?
Which was no job.
Oh, no job.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know,
Don't blame
you can't, you know, baby steps. You know, it takes a while to transition from India and $5 million before that to getting your feet back in the market.
Well, I understand you two are pretty good friends, and I can see that you're interested in her welfare. She was talking about buying the hat shop. But I'm afraid with Paula, because he jumps in with not
No,
really
no,
something.
slow down, Daddy, slow down. I asked the owner of the hat shop if she wanted to sell it, what would the price be? It costs nothing to ask. I'm not thinking to buy it. I'm thinking to know what are the options on the table, because here's the thing, Molly, with the hat shop. I am absolutely convinced, it's already been coming out in my shows because it's part of my life, that I am now branding the hat shop. The hat shop's getting branded. So I want to go in very wide-eyed about this and see if I can make it in harmony with my values. And also, my concern is not just the hat shop, but the entire East Village. And I have a lot of sympathy for small businesses because I've been there. And when Sirius goes to satellite and they say, buy this for $12 a month and there's no advertising, well, you've just cut out a very important part of the ecology, the economic ecology, that those shops don't have access anymore. They can't afford the big advertisers.
Well, but they never could. You can't afford to advertise on national,
right.
radio anyway.
But
I'm looking to create something also local. That's what I think.
I agree.
That's what I think with the internet. There's a potential for it also to have a local appeal. And if I've got, like I met with subscribers, almost 600 subscribers. So if I have, say, 200 or 300 of them from India, there's nothing that I'm going to advertise that's going to be interesting to an Indian audience. But from the point, what's that? What's that?
I don't think that's. I think nowadays, like for example, we were looking for this vase that my brother broke.
Oh no!
And they're gonna have to ship it. We're gonna have to ship it from Denmark, but we can find it on eBay. And this thing has been, not available. It's an out-of-stock item. So, and I bought an Agnihotra thing from India.
Right.
So I disagree with you. I think that now with the internet, that it's a much more international market, and that it's not as big of a deal as it used to be.
Right. No, well,
So
it's at Times Square at a restaurant. I can't even remember the name. If I did, you would recognize it. It has a name brand appeal, and she said there was an online shop, and people were buying things from all over the world just because it had that name brand appeal, and they wanted to buy something from a Times Square restaurant. She said it was a no-brainer.
Time Cafe, maybe.
I don't know. I think it was Barney's or something. It began with a B. But anyway, she's thinking.
Blue Water Grill.
What's that?
Blue Water Grill.
No.
Anyway, that's not.
Yeah. The restaurant business is
Times Square. I'm thinking Union Square.
No, Times Square. It was a tough business, and she thought she could slow down the hat shop, but man, the volume was terrific during the holidays.
Oh, I'm sure.
So she's thinking now to go back to the restaurant business, but she was very interested in the online stuff and very fascinated with my TV show, just because of because her husband does web design, and they get $3,000 for creating a site. And here I am in California trying to help my sister with her site, and now my sister can take a class. They give a class on Dreamweaver, which I
think that's a class that you should take.
Yeah,
now,
but
Mr. Sagan, this is where I think Paula should focus: is taking a class on web design.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Molly. I haven't found those classes in Manhattan, and I told Hella, I said, this is a goldmine of a class for you to take in the Bay Area, because by next month she's going to be a whiz on this program, and she's motivated.
Why don't you stay and take the class?
I don't want to stay for 1 month, Molly.
Oh, okay.
The class doesn't start for a month, and then the class is a month, so it would be 2 months. Unless we can find somebody. No, I mean theoretically I could if I can find somebody to take over my apartment for a month, or the hat shop. She's calling me now because she depends on me too.
Oh, I see.
I can't leave her.
It'll all happen. I'm just saying that in general, I think that would be what you need, is to take a class in web design.
Definitely.
Or in the meantime, get someone who's good at it. But you know how annoying that is sometimes. Anyway, did your father check out on us, or is he still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. Don't you have my picture?
No, she doesn't see you.
No, I can't see you.
Oh, you can see me. But no, I'm very interested in what you're saying, because I think you're down to earth, and Paula is a little bit up in the skies, a little bit,
I know, that's why we make a good team.
Well, yeah. But talking about 9/11 and the thing is horrible,
I know. I have a few shows that I talk about it, but I talk about it in a little bit different way.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It's a controversy. It makes a show, it makes it, people get mad or people like it and so on. So that's fine, but really you should be... I
don't put it up there for controversy. concerned about these things. If, oh my God, there it came. Oh my God.
You can see my
All of a sudden
dad.
I got a video now.
Oh, good. Great.
Hallelujah.
And you're sounding better too.
I don't know what happened, but it all was working.
It's because you were getting onto a deep topic. Continue, Molly.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like what Paula is discussing is not just, I don't think she's just doing it because it's controversial. I think that she's doing it because she is genuinely interested in the topics and finding out what's really going on. And, you know, whether or not it happened in the way that the people she's interviewing or she thinks it's happened, it's not important. It's more the sort of platonic dialogue that
I agree with you. Oh, that's what I said. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. This is what I told you, but don't really believe it, you know. I mean, laugh, you know. Let them talk on the thing and laugh about it, you know.
But I think that I think that there was definitely some strange things that are inexplicable or not explained correctly by the official version that need to be re-examined. And I find that our country is very, you know, once they get an official version, boom, that's it. There's no more discussion, we don't want to talk about it, and it happened that way and that's it.
Well, no, I agree with you. I mean, the official version has to be discussed and has to be changed. If they made a mistake, fine, they'll make a mistake. There's nothing wrong with it. No, absolutely, you know.
There's been a lot of situations when finally, many years later, new evidence has come out and different assumptions have to be made.
Well, that's that's history. That's exactly, you know, it takes 50 to 100 years before you really understand what happens in a certain period.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you remember Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or whatever his name was. Oh, people thought in America that he was a god. Well, right now, you saw he was not a god. He made a lot of mistakes, and the world suffered because of him. You know.
Well, but I also think that he did a lot of things that were good for our country, and we could take a page out of FDR's book and use it now, frankly.
Yeah, well, I don't think, well...
I think, I hate to say it, I know that you're a Bush fan, but I'm not too keen on his attitude about sort of high-handed oligarchical approach to government. You know, they put it all in their pockets with the rest of the country. They don't do what's best for our country, basically.
That's your opinion, of course, but others don't think it is. He does his best. He's an honest man. He cannot talk, sure, that's the thing, but I think history is going to show that he was right. The same way with Ronald Reagan. When Ronald Reagan was in power, everybody was against him. Well, look what he did with the Soviets. Look what he did with the thing.
Just a second. Let me bring this up to another level here. Molly, I don't know if you've watched some of my recent shows on binary economics. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't been able to get online.
Okay. Well, this is something that really excites me because I think the important thing is the type of platform I'm seeking to create is not one of controversy, except as you two are having a discussion about something that's worth discussing. I want to create a platform where we can create unity. And I think the deeper the knowledge is, the more unity you have. And binary economics is something that was proposed in the 1950s with the Capitalist Manifesto. And somebody like Ronald Reagan or Bush, these are not the important people. It's the people who are considering the policy. In 1974, Harold Channer had an interview with Russell Long, who was the son of Huey Long, who was at that time the second most powerful man in government, and then a man named William
wait, Huey Long was powerful in Louisiana, not outside of Louisiana.
No, his son Russell Long. His son,
I got you.
No, I'll tell you, this was so powerful, Molly, that Nelson Rockefeller kept calling the public access stations, wondering when the show was going to happen. Now, what was interesting, at that time, cable television was new. They were trying to get people to pay for television. I don't think you're old enough to remember, but when I used to watch television as a child, everybody said, no, nobody's going to pay for television.
Right. There were only 3 channels.
Yeah, right. So what they did was they got it going with sex again. They had this guy, Ugly George, that would run around Manhattan and ask a woman to take her shirt off. Most of the time he would get slapped, but every once in a while somebody would do it. And they were showing this on public access, and Time Warner was signing people up. You know, a couple years went by and they changed the policy. But in those days, in '74, public access in Manhattan was just getting off the ground, and Harold Channer had this interview, which is now historic, and Harold has lost it, by the way. But so he's put the word out to see if some other people have a copy, because he lost his Buckminster Fuller before someone came up with a copy. So it was an interview with William Simon, who was the head of the Department of Treasury, and Russell Long. And at that time, Richard Nixon said, "I can sell this to the American people in 6 months." But then the oligarchical interest came along, and that's why I think this platform that I'm trying to create, and others, not just me. You're on, Molly.
Wake up.
I think it's your father that has a comment.
I don't have what comment about what Paula said. I was watching you snore. I mean, I'm watching you yawn.
I didn't sleep very well last night.
Well.
I woke up in the middle of the night and then I couldn't get back to sleep. So.
Oh, sorry, Molly.
No, it's not your fault. It's.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm just.
I slept good last night. It's the first time in weeks.
Oh, good.
Well,
And yeah, I haven't been sleeping a lot over these holidays. My family gets up very early in the morning.
Aww.
And
torture.
they're a bunch of morning Nazis.
Morning Nazis,
So-
she calls them.
yeah.
So Molly,
But they expect everybody else to be up.
Molly, my brother's going to come by pretty soon. We were going to do the show with you and him, but he's getting a little too late.
Okay, well, we're almost at a half an hour, so why don't we just wrap it up? I think it's great.
Yeah, I just want to say, hopefully George and I are going to go over to Google and say